can happen at a distance. So here we are in.
I lost audio. You guys got me? Oh. Hi, Ian.
Hey, what's going on, Brett? I actually didn't hear you because we lost a little bit of audio, but let me tell you what's going on. Assuming that you asked about the very strange free agency times
I can hear you. I can't hear your program. I can hear
that
Ian.
are going on right now. Free agency frenzy is set to begin free agency frenzy is going on right now. The tampering window begins in about 2 hours, and what teams are dealing with right now is certainly times that are unprecedented. Free agency is going to go on. There's going to be a lot of phone calls. There's going to be a lot of video conferences. There's going to be the kinds of things that basically took place before. What's going to be different is there's going to be no visits when the league year begins at 4 p.m. on Wednesday. There's also going to be physicals are obviously going to change because teams are not going to be able to send players on commercial flights to their facilities and have them get physicals. That is something that teams are now certainly trying to work out. Do they use the local hospital? Do teams actually just share the exit physicals from teams? There's a lot of things up in the air right now as teams try to figure out how they actually are going to proceed in free agency. However, at this point, based on conversations from the NFL and the NFLPA yesterday, the tampering window begins in about 2 hours, and we have seen several deals as players re-sign with their own teams already take place, including the Ryan Tannehill deal yesterday.
All right, Ian, I'll take it from here. Is this thing on? Yes, I think it's on. All right, here we go. What we're looking, I just love Ian's stare into the camera when nothing's happened and you see just panic come across his face. It's a free agent frenzy, and we're all in a frenzy here. We're going to be okay, though. Keep it locked here. We'll be fine. Ian, you're right. I mean, listen, a lot of folks trying to figure out how this thing is going to work. I've got team executives that I'm talking to. Some are in a frenzy, like we're in a frenzy. I'm just going to keep using that word frenzy because they teams are
you, Mike, are you there?
Physicals are going to work, and whether players are going to be willing to come to them to be part of their free exploratory process.
All right, so let's get back. Rapoport, stare or not, I want to bring you in here because you got some breaking news here for us. And look, it's not Tom Brady, it's not Dak Prescott, but it is a big-name quarterback. Ian, what can you tell us?
Yeah, the Vikings have just agreed to a 2-year extension with their starting quarterback, Kirk Cousins. And there's a couple things that go into this. We're still waiting on the firm numbers on this Kirk Cousins deal, but my expectation is, and probably most important for the Vikings right now, that this lowers their cap number. And, you know, he had a big cap number, almost $30 million this year. And I'm not saying it prevented the Vikings from doing some of the moves they discussed, but certainly it did not help on them locking in free agents. They have some big ones. They have Trey Waynes. They have Anthony Harris, probably the top-rated safety out there. They have some moves that they can do, and what the Kirk Cousins extension does, it not only pays him for 2 more years, it also lowers their cap number. And it's also interesting, by the way, that a day previous, the 49ers had essentially recommitted to Jimmy Garoppolo, as Chris Sims reported that they are not going after Tom Brady. A day after that, Kirk Cousins, the sort of apple of Kyle Shanahan's eye in the past, Kirk Cousins signs a deal with the Vikings.
Very interesting indeed, as Cousins was entering the last year of that 3-year fully guaranteed deal he signed after coming over from the Redskins. So, Ian, the Falcons are making moves, not necessarily bringing guys in, but clearing some space, it seems, starting with their running back, Devontae Freeman, on the way out.
Yeah, Devontae Freeman is going to be released today, and this saves $3 million against the cap. But, of course, the Atlanta Falcons lose a starting running back, and look, this is a player who was shopped last year at the trade deadline. The Falcons opted not to deal him, trying to basically kind of keep on the winning track and see if they could turn their season around last year with the help of Freeman. They did end up turning their season around, by the way, but now move on from him, save $3 million, and give themselves a little more space. Meanwhile, colleague Mike Garafolo has reported that Ty Sambrailo, one of their tackles, he's going to be released. not the only move that the Atlanta Falcons are doing in a busy day today.
No, certainly not the only move. Tom Pelissero, you've been following a couple others that the Falcons are making. What else are you hearing?
Desmond Trufant, their star cornerback who they paid a couple of years ago, I'm told will be released this week. That move is likely to come after the start of the league year, allowing them to spread the cap hit out, maximize their impact they can get in terms of clearing cap space this year. Now, Trufant's still only 29 years old. He dealt with a couple of different injuries last season, still had 4 interceptions. He'll be an intriguing name to watch in a cornerback market where there are some guys who are going to get paid and should get paid big. Byron Jones being among them, as well as James Bradbury, potentially Trey Waynes as well. After that, there is a bit of a drop-off here. It'll be interesting to see where Trufant lands, a guy who can play man coverage but also has experience in that cover 3 base scheme, the Seattle type of defense that you've seen with a variety of teams within the NFL plan.
Falcons, also, according to Mike Garafolo, releasing Ty Sambrailo as well. But, Tom, I want to talk about a couple of franchise tags designations that we're beginning to see as we're now less than 2 hours away from the deadline for teams to place those tags. The Steelers have placed their tag on Bud Dupree. What more can you tell us there?
Not a surprise that the Steelers would end up franchise tagging Bud Dupree. It is very rare to see edge rushers in particular make it clean into the open market. Now, Dupree had a very good season last year. He picked a good time to do it. It'll be interesting to see now how things play out, not just with Dupree, but with some of the other edge rushers who have been tagged. In Dupree's case, it certainly seems as if the Steelers' intention would be to work out a long-term deal. Shaq Barrett from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers also got franchise tagged. He said on NFL Network the other day he would be comfortable playing on the tag if he has to, absent a long-term deal. But some of the other guys, Chris Jones is going to be tagged by the Chiefs, Yannick Ngakoue with the Jaguars, Matt Judon with the Baltimore Ravens. Those 3 guys all potential tag and trade candidates as we head into what is sure to be a wild negotiating window and free agent period here. Right.
And the NFL sack leader Shaq Barrett has been tagged by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which would make Jameis Winston a free agent if a deal doesn't get done in the next hour plus here. So a lot to follow as we continue. Thanks very much, Tom Pelissero. Let's now head out to Foxborough, Massachusetts, arguably one of the most intriguing destinations here on our free agency frenzy, as Mike Giardi is there at Gillette Stadium for us. Mike, obviously following what's going on with Tom Brady here, we are now less than 2 hours away from other teams being able to talk to Tom Brady. Are you hearing anything? Are you hearing any of that chatter? What's going on there at Gillette?
Well, let's just start with what's happening here with the Patriots. I was told as of late last night they had not had any productive discussions with Tom Brady or his representative, Don Yee, that is the New England Patriots. So you have that. The caveat there, of course, being, look, the two sides know each other very well. It's been 20 years, and Brady has wanted to experience free agency. So with the negotiation window opening up in 2 hours, he gets that opportunity to maybe sample some other teams and hear their pitches for him. And the feeling is, well, he could still come back to the Patriots and say, all right, well, we know each other. We can work this thing out, but we've given you that opportunity. The other thing I was told from a couple different sources who know Brady well is that they feel like New England isn't his first option. I repeat, is not his first option, that he really wants to find a new home and sort of finish his career somewhere else, try something new. Obviously, the relationship here has been at times strained and difficult, very productive, 9 trips to the Super Bowl, 6 Super Bowl titles. However, the feeling is that maybe that relationship has run its course. So again, still plenty of time for this all to shake back in the Patriots' favor if they want. But remember, they've had over 2 months to figure something out, and they haven't yet.
And now less than 2 hours away to figure something out, if that is what both sides in fact want. Otherwise, Tom Brady can begin talking to other teams. Now, the Patriots do seem to at least be trying to hang on to some of the leadership within that locker room with the re-signings of Matthew Slater and Devin McCourty. How does that all fit in here?
Well, Red, I mean, first things first, both of those guys are coming off terrific seasons. Slater had had a couple injury-plagued years and then bounced back and had a Pro Bowl season last year, an All-Pro type season. And McCourty, with 5 interceptions, playing some of the best football of his career, said he wanted to finish up with his brother Jason. They picked up Jason's option a couple days ago. Now Devin is in the fold. But I also look at it from the big picture, and in having 2 guys that are so well respected in the locker room and such terrific leaders, 2 of the best leaders that I've been across here in the New England Patriots for the 20 years, that if they're going to transition away from Tom Brady, pretty important to have guys like that who will help shepherd this locker room through what will certainly be a significant period of change and a difficult one for whoever the quarterback is, but not only that, just for the rest of the room, because that room for 20 years has looked to Tom Brady for answers.
No question. Important context there with the re-signings of Matthew Slater and Devin McCourty. And thanks very much, Mike Giardi. I know you'll be a busy man today there in Foxborough. And look, the McCourty celebrating, obviously, as you see here from the Patriots Twitter account, as Devin will be back in New England. Good news there for that Patriots defense. All right, let's bring in our pals here, Willie McGinnis, our former Patriots, and Brian Baldinger with us as well. Guys, let's continue this Patriots conversation. And Willie, I want to start with you, a guy you know very well, and Tom Brady. Does a return to the Patriots still feel like the most logical thing here for Brady and for New England?
I mean, selfishly, for me, I would say yes. I think the Patriots would have the first crack at the conversations to see how they would go, what would go on there. But I think, you've heard Tom, you've heard other people talk about it, that there's opportunity.